I got all the everything queued up to to start off. Just got there we go. Just gotta get the
Okay.
motherfucker shit put in the chats.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
What's good, fellas? Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
All right, Shoguns. I think I can play my game tonight now. I won't do shit unless I know who the Shoguns and Craig on right now, right?
Yo, yo.
Yeah, my bad, folks. I had some food in my mouth.
Read the comment section. Oh, nah, don't read the comment section. I'm tripping. That's me. I did that. I know she better fucking say something on this broadcast. I know that. I'm mad, Franchise Junkies. I thought that was Mrs. Goodell. She mad at me. How many of y'all think she'll tune in while she's mad at me?
Oh, yes.
How mad is she?
She really mad at me. I'm not gonna pit out what she mad at me about, but
yeah.
She's mad enough for me to be like, I ain't playing until I know she back in this motherfucking crib, comfortable, and I know she motherfucking not mad no more. How about that? That's mad, right? That's super mad.
Ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nah. Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna do. If she does tune in, I'm gonna give a gift out.
What's her number, man?
She ain't tuning in this motherfucker. Oh my god, she is so mad at me right now.
Hell no. Disappointing.
We gonna find out how much a person loves somebody when they mad. You feel me? We gonna find the fuck out. Let's see how bad. She's super mad at me right now, but we gonna see if she still love me enough to tune in. Now you know women is not here. He said call her right now. You know women ain't they already ain't beat for the game and all that shit now. So if she tune in on that, let's get it. Let's go, Mrs. Goodell. I'm sorry. I did not mean it. Don't do me like that. But we in the divisional rounds. But before we talk about divisional round, you know, and all the good stuff that's going to happen in the divisional round for the guys that are still playing and the guys that are not playing and waiting for us to get the fuck out of the divisional round, the wild card round happened. And it was already crazy already this playoff season was very nuts. It was one of the wildest Week 18 wait fors to finish ever. I mean, we had 4 NFC East teams in the playoffs. We had the Dolphins lose 2 big crucial games going into Week 8 to the playoffs and still got in and still playing. As you can see, if you look at the screen, they're on deck right now as the 7th seed on their way to Baltimore to try to continue to keep doing the impossible, which is win. Top tier, man. I think the Dolphins are super comfortable with this game. If it's anybody that's coming into Baltimore right now, I think they are comfortable here, right? I think they have enough victories over Baltimore this year to be able to say we're in a good situation.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of like in the same position as myself right now. We both are in a situation where we feel like we lost the game the last time we played our opponents. So now, you know, he knows he can do it. So it's just like, I ain't saying that he's overly confident. I'm not overly confident. I'm just saying he knows it's a possibility. He's in a situation where he could pull off that win in Baltimore. So it puts him into a good mindset going into the game. And who hasn't he really beaten that was big names this year?
Right.
It's not too many that he didn't beat.
Right.
So I think he's confident. You know, we'll see. That's a tough task, but we'll see.
It's the playoffs. You're not talking about. Let's go look at the bracket and see what happened in the first round, wild card round. It was went down in football right now. So we're gonna change the music tune for a little bit right now because we got games to break down. And while we in game breakdown mode, I'm still. Sorry, my lady. You mean so much to me.
There you
go. Come on, tune in, baby. Tune in, baby girl. Tune in, my love. Come on now. It's just words, baby girl. Tune in.
Just
Tune in. All right, so we're gonna slide over here into New York and think about the game that we talked about before this game was played and how they played, twice this year and they were close games. And then we get in the playoffs. And I know you see a 59-7 score up there right now, but we're not gonna really kind of just put it this way: home field and then in the weather conditions can really be tough to play in. Playoff environment football. You're on the road. You're traveling into a familiar territory. You've played this team twice this year. You lost twice to them. The third game is pressure because it's a playoff game, and you go into this game confidently hoping to win this ball game. And then things happen outside of your control in some instances. The key to this game comes right here. You cannot get into a playoff game and turn the ball over 7 times. It's just that simple. So when we start with this game, you start there. You start with the turnovers. The Philadelphia Eagles went into New York and they turned the ball over 7 times. Just think about that. Look at the total yards gained. The Eagles outgained the Giants in yards, 501 yards to 382. I mean, even kick return yards was 125. They was there. Look, offensive passing yards. The Eagles won that, 247 to 225, and they barely lost the rushing yards, which was 118 to 122. They won a total offensive yards gain, 365. So, how do you get a 59-7 score? Turnovers and defense scoring off those turnovers. Simple as that. So, when you talk about this game, you start there, right? And you get into the player stats, and we look at the fact that Elijah Manning had 128.5 QB rating. He threw 4 touchdowns and only 1 pick. And Deshaun Watson had a really, really struggling day as far as completion percentage and QBR, 51.9. He threw 5 interceptions in this game. And they fumbled twice. And I think those fumbles got picked up for scooping scores. And that was the difference of the game, man. Jonathan Taylor had 17 carries. They were doing what they had to do. The run game, 4.6 yards to carry. It's not the greatest, but it's positive. 4.6, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't get in the end zone. Young Saint Barkley comes in. He gets 13 carries, 77 yards, 5.9, 1 touchdown. Mixon had 14 carries. Your next leading rusher for the Eagles was Deshaun Watson with 2 carries. Now, Craig, we talked about this game before it was played, and we talked about Elijah Manning ain't gonna be throwing the ball all around the park and all that. He was successful. He threw 4 touchdowns. But the Giants came in and did exactly what I thought they were going to do. We said, big guy, your quarterback, the man, show us he that guy, throw that thing 30, 40 times. He didn't really have to. But, I mean, we looking at 13 and 14 carries from 2 different running backs, so he was well over the 20 carry mark, right? So he came into this game with a run first mentality. Do you think that's the reason why they won the game, though, or you think this game is solely strictly off the turnovers?
I believe that it's so hard to judge this game because I would say that it's basically based off the turnovers because there's not many drives Elijah had to drive the whole length of the field to really give him, to really know, you know what I mean, to really give him a good grade on that, man. Like, he caused a lot of turnovers, and some of the turnovers ended up being pick 6, fumble recovery touchdowns. He had like 3 defensive touchdowns, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, so the momentum was against him. Momentum was on his side and against Rob. So it was just, I mean, it's a mixture of a lot of stuff. I mean, he did get some man plays, man. I watched the whole game back over again. But,
I mean, DK showed up, had 5 catches for 102 yards. And what you see is J.R. Shockey with 2 catches, 81 yards. He averaged 40.5. So it was just a big shot play. And when you see numbers like this, a tight end with 40 and a half yards per play, right? When you see that, that's a momentum thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's like, and also it seemed like Rob, after the third quarter, he just logged out of the game. he still played, but he didn't play. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
defeated. It was like, you know
Yeah.
what? It's not. We 7 turnovers, man. Can't overcome that in the playoffs. It's just that simple. My question is, where does the Eagles go from here? They got into the playoffs. They had an up and down year, but a good enough year to still make it in the playoffs and do something that they made history. 4 teams in the same division made it in the same playoffs. Um, but is this a make your coaching staff really, your entire front office, is this something they need to do for this team, or do you think they just need to keep on pushing, keep on doing what they already doing, and to build off of it?
Honestly, I think it does start with the front office. I mean, out of all 4 teams in the division, that's probably the worst built team as of right now. You know
And
what I
and the
mean?
problem is they have the ability guys on their team, but they're not developing like the rest of the players in their division are developing.
In their division,
Yeah,
and he's behind the ball. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I do think it starts with the front office and but just building these guys again, building the youth, bringing them up, and drafting exactly who you want, and really drafting with a reason, with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I think he still has a hill to climb where a lot of his people in his division is already at is on a different level than him right now. But,
and it starts with development. So let me ask you this:
mm,
is it time for the Eagles to say, you know what? Let's not play in the draft this year. Let's take these picks and go get studs that's
that
already built.
Yeah, that I would say so, man. I would say that if you having a developmental problem, I would really take what's that, like the shotgun way, like
Hmm.
in certain some Maddens, like you know what I mean, usually develop players that you don't have to develop, and just get it, and then let the people who do develop take your picks. I mean, and the good thing about it is you still, no matter what, are going to have a first and second pick. It might be
Right,
worse
right,
than what it
right.
is, but no matter what, you're getting a first and second pick. So if you can get a trade to move back and still get a stud player, without question, and a lot of people will take an 18th, 19th pick, 21st pick over their 32nd pick, because a lot of people are going for the same thing this year. So you could really luck up this year, man. Take advantage of this draft. You know what I'm saying? Either that or blow your team all the way up.
I don't. I
And
think. I think. I think. I mean, we go. Obviously, we're keeping the league. We're gonna go on a real draft from this league. So blowing it up ain't bad. But I think what they got in the playoffs. They have the pieces there. I just think they. I don't think that this team can, go forward fast enough by just playing in the draft this year and not trading. I think their success came when they had the 3 first-round picks and they traded and they went and got dogs right away. And those
hmm
dogs had them so competitive, but as you've seen, the league caught up to them. I mean, not the league, the division caught up to them because they're developing faster at a faster rate. They're developing the players. He's getting talent, but they're not developing as fast as the other 3 teams in that division are developing their young talent. So I think he would be in a situation to benefit from trading his picks. Like again, like you said, you're automatically going to still get a first and a second, but those thirds through five, 3 through 5 can get you anywhere between 6 studs, four
hmm
studs, 5 studs. You know what I mean? Somewhere I would aim for 6. You know what I'm saying? Maybe rounds 3. Actually, not even rounds 3. So when you swap the first, you swap the second, you're getting the player with it. That's 2 players right there. And then the third, fourth, and fifth. Maybe not play the draft this year. Take all those picks and do something that nobody else is willing to do. In a sense, where you remember when he was the first to set the tone in years 1 and 2, when he made those trades and kind of put those pieces around his team to be able to play at a high level. And he was at his highest when he went to go get Deshaun Watson and
D
Adams and
Hopkins.
yeah, and D Hop and
Yeah.
all that, and these guys,
hmm
it's time to do another reset like that, like, and you know what I'm saying, maybe,
hmm
maybe is it time to move on from Deshaun Watson?
I think he definitely needs to, especially since we're keeping the league. I think he definitely has to at least find that guy to learn. underneath Deshaun Watson. If he isn't going to move on yet, you at least want to start grooming that person, especially if you don't have the best developmental skills and stuff like that. I mean, I would definitely get that, the next person underneath Deshaun. If you see him, you know,
Yeah,
like I said, he has too many at this point in Game of Thrones. He has too many questions. Like there's just so many questions on this team of what he should do, couldn't do, what he should have done. It's just like, and he been here since season 1
right.
with 3 first-round draft picks. You know, I feel like he should be at that hold. And that's my cousin. You know what I mean? No shade, but I think he should have been, in a way better place right now.
Right, and even when like, and it's a testament because you are the worst developed team in that division right now, and yet you still give that division hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. So if we can catch up to where they at, and again, it's to check yourself, look yourself in the mirror thing. It's this. All right, we spent 5 seasons trying to develop rookies, and if you look at the average rookie from year 1 to now, you got guys that are getting some, like Von Savage was absolutely the number 1 safety in the draft. He was probably like the number 3 to 4 overall player in that draft. And after 4 seasons, he's not even a 99 yet. He's not even in the 90s yet.
What?
That's a development thing, and he's on the field at sub linebacker. He's on the field at safety. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was one of the premier safeties coming out of the draft. That that was like, damn, he got him. How he get him? You know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck the Eagles was able to get him sitting at like 13
Craig
or
Williams
15?
The same draft as him.
Right.
So,
right, and you gotta. It's a development thing. It's what are you not doing right as a development thing, because again, you look at safeties that came in after him. Let's just look at, first of all, I'm gonna go to the Eagles real fast, and this is not. I'm reality checking the Philadelphia Eagles as as an analyst looking on the outside looking in. We look at that division. It is a development thing in this division. So like it's not. He has the players. He has the ability on those players, right? But then when you look at, like, for example, Von Savage is at 88 overall right now, and he's in his 5th season.
No way.
Well, he's in his 5th season. He came out of the first draft class. He's at 88 overall right now. You got guys that came in the league after him at that safety position. Let's go look at a guy like Kai Foe at the safety. He's already at 97, and he's a year younger than him. You got guys that came in after him. When you get those guys that's 83, 82, 84, those guys, you can get them into the 90s after 1 season. 18 games and get them into the 90s right away. So to me, the Eagles have to make a decision right now. And if I'm anybody that's in the league, and you want draft picks right now, this is the team I'm going to holler at the Eagles. And you got some guys that maybe you're able to move on from, and in that situation, maybe, look. And if I'm Rob, I'm looking to swap first, seconds. I'm also looking to get rid of this third, and maybe just start right there, and maybe come back. Matter of fact, I would probably, I would get rid of the third. It might be somebody thirsty enough, like the Bills will play late in the draft. They'll come get your 5th, 6th, and 7th. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. Like, and then you take that first. Your first pick should be quarterback right away, and then go get your quarterback. Get your dog quarterback. Take that quarterback, or maybe even take one of these picks and trade for somebody's quarterback. It's guys that got starting backups that you can, that got backups that can be a starter in a season or 2 for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think they need to change the course of what they're doing, and coaches usually give them a 3 to 3 year process to get it together. They were successful in their first 2 seasons, and then the next 3 wasn't bad years for them. It just wasn't successful. When you look at the Cowboys, the Washington football team, and the Giants, and you look at the rosters, and you just say, well, wait, what's going on with the Eagles? Like, what are they not doing right? Right, so I just think they need to take the different path. I don't think the draft is the answer for them. I think those already made players are the answer for him. And there's guys that want to get rid of players like crazy all the time. So I think they should go that route, man. And that's that. Like so. And now, with that being said, the talent is there, the coaching is there, because to beat a team in that division that's not built better than anybody else in that division, and you still splitting with guys or sweeping guys or giving them hell over there, tells me that you're good when it comes down to coaching.
Definitely.
You're good at coaching.
Definitely.
You're not. That's not the
Definitely.
problem. You know what I mean? That's why your coach still has his job. It's not the problem. You can coach. Um, but if your talent can't keep up with the teams you're playing, you're still in a bad situation, because what happens is you don't have the talent. You don't have the better talent on the field, so you got to overcoach. You know what I'm saying? You got to go damn
Yeah.
near. You got to overcoach to
Mhm.
win ball games.
Mhm.
And the moment you
Crazy.
make the game a little easier for yourself and let the
Exactly.
great coaching you doing already yourself take its course, then you can start to see the turnaround that you're really looking for right now. So if I'm him, I'm looking at all the players that's on the block, that's in the trade chat right now, and if they ain't on the block, I'm going through the league and I'm looking at whatever players that I think would be interested enough to come play for me, that will fit what I'm trying to do. I'm calling those GMs ASAP and trying to
I
figure it
agree.
out.
I agree.
Because they're a few key players away, and they have to they're gonna have to call someone that they're gonna have to call connection. They're gonna have to talk. Maybe it's time to bring in a new training staff, a new you know what I mean a new a new, whoever's the head of your weight gaining department, your weight training department and shit like that, the development guys. Maybe it's
Mhm.
time to get them out the building, because they just stealing money right now, and bring in a new better development crew, and bring them on your staff and get these guys developed.
They better do something now.
Yeah,
That's all
because
I
you
really
you
know.
look at the
You know what I'm
talent
saying?
on this team. The talent is there. They got everything. They got abilities. They got speed. Their problem is, again, they're not developing. And when you're facing guys that got same type of players from the same draft class, you got those guys are already damn near 99 out, and your guys are still. You got to think about it. If Von Savage came out of 82 overall and he's only 88 overall, that's 6 points in 5 years he went up. When honestly, 6 points in a season is how it really should be.
Yeah, man.
And then you ask yourself, how can a team lose 59-7 in the playoffs with turnovers and not having a better team on the field? It changes things right now. And this is why you see guys, Von Teller, who goes dummies in this game. He benefit, because this game wasn't an offensive game for the Giants, in my opinion. They ran the ball, they ran the shit out of the ball. They almost gave their running backs 30 carries together. But on defense, they balled out. Von Teller had a fucking great day. 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. He had an INT. I think he had, I don't know if he caused the fumble or he picked up a fumble, and he took 2 to the crib himself. So either he took a pick 6 to the crib and a fumble to the crib, and that's how he got in the end zone. So he gave his team 14 points there, and then the Giants just played off of momentum right now. So again, when you look at that game, let's talk. You got to talk about the Giants. Where they at right now? They're playing in a game without their superstar running back that they traded. Elijah Manning had a good day. He managed the game, but the defense was the answer for this game right now. So now that the Giants won that game and they got to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, do they have to have that same type of presence? They have to have a good defensive game. I don't know if they can get 7 turnovers from a team that barely turns the ball over already. So winning the momentum game is going to be hard for the Giants going forward, but they have to try to build off this momentum. Like, this game was a gift wrap game. What it did is it came to you with turnovers and momentum, and it made it easy for you. You wasn't really challenged
Yeah.
because the Eagles couldn't fight back, because they were playing the crowd was rocking, everything was going the Giants way, and they just never could really get a good handle on what they wanted to do in that ball game.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing about it is, even though he's coming in momentum too, so is the Bucks. They both came off of big wins.
Right, right.
And the Bucks isn't a team that's going to turn the ball over 7 times neither.
Exactly.
So you're going to have to pull a game off a different way. You know what I'm saying? So,
yep.
And
And
the two coaches that know each other, it's definitely nothing but a rival. We off the field we might be cool, but on the field we absolutely hate each other.
Yes, sir.
That's just the Bucks and Giants. Yeah, that's just how this game is going to be.
All right, so that was the NFC's 2 versus 7 game. That was the highest seed in the wild card round playing the lowest seed in the wild card round. We got to go to the AFC and shoot over here and take a look at the second seed that played the 7th seed right now. Now in this matchup, we had the same conversations. All right, the Dolphins played this game in the regular season, and the Chargers put 59 on them and beat them by multiple scores. And we talked about this game, and in talking about this game, we understood that Dolphins is in a situation where they can win this game. As we look at the game, we look at the score, you saw the 7th seed take the victory, 45-42. I'll ask you, did you watch any of this game at all?
Actually, I did watch some of the game. And, man, he pulled some shit off, bro. I mean, he got the stops when the stops was needed. It was hard to just shut down the Chargers offense, but he got the stops when it was needed and got the turnovers when it was needed. And he made some clutch plays. He made some clutch third plays, some clutch third down plays, man. He put some shit together, man. It was when you want to look at a playoff game, that's the definition of a real playoff game, man. Like, it didn't feel like 2 versus 7. It felt like that was a 4 versus 5 game. You know what I'm saying?
I know this. When you go into the box scores of things, and you take a look at the actual box scores. So let's look at the first quarter, 7-7 ball game. You look at the second quarter, 28-7, and I think that was the damage that happened in this game. That 28-point second quarter is the reason why the Dolphins came out on this victory.
The Chargers didn't give up.
They came screaming back. They scored 28 in the second half. 28-10 in the second half. They won the second half of it. But when you give up 35 points in the first half,
thankfully I had
it's hard to come back from it.
Yeah, I had one.
Well, ain't nobody getting a gift. As y'all can hear, she's home. I'm confident she's right in the building. Loud as hell on purpose. Great, get whoever she talking to on the phone beat all the way the fuck up. Sighter, stop playing.
There ain't nobody on the phone, bro.
445 though, offensive yards gained by the Dolphins, and again, this game really came down to that second quarter. And I'm a go out on a limb and say this. I watched the LA Chargers go down and score first. I watched the Dolphins answer. I watched the Chargers score again in the second quarter, and then the turnovers happened in that quarter. I think after the first pick six, I'm not saying you change your offense up, but why did you trade for Saquon Barkley? Because that turnover that picked the Dolphins, the first turnover, then once that second score happened and he went up 21-14, that moment you're supposed to ride Saquon Barkley's back in that moment.
Definitely.
He gets you out of those turnovers because you don't score 28 points in one quarter without multiple turnovers happening. So if you look at the game and you go down here to the turnovers, you see 3 key turnovers. It's not a lot of turnovers, considering, getting 20. But in that quarter, you saw a pick 6 and you saw almost another pick 6, but for whatever reason, the corner stopped running and just took a knee. Or it would have been two pick 6s. But those 28 points. Those turnovers in that, and they might have all came in that second quarter. All 3 of those turnovers might have came in that second quarter, if I'm not mistaken. But then the Chargers did what they do. They held tight. They gave up 3 in the third. They scored 14. They gave up 7 in the fourth. They scored 14. And what happened was they couldn't get the stop when they needed it, and that was it. They couldn't get the stop when they needed it.
Some clutch plays.
Really clutch plays. Let's go look at the players and stats and see what happened in this game. Marino had 110.1 QB rating. Herbert had 106.9 QB rating. 322 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. 313, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. That was the difference in the ball game. And here's where, is mind-boggling for me. Now, Saquon Barkley rushed for 3 touchdowns in this game. He had 4.7 yards a carry. I just think if he'd have got the same 24 carries that Nuna got, might be in a different situation in this ball game.
Yeah,
12 carries, 56 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was ready to play this game. You saw it. Nuna held him down though. 24 carries from a Dolphins running back is pretty solid, especially out of the shotgun play that they do. A lot of inside zones. The kid played. They was able to line up. And that fourth quarter, he probably had about 10 carries in that fourth quarter to seal the game. You know what I'm saying? So they balled out though. This game was off the hook, bro. Like, cause you saw like,
yeah.
Dolphins about to get his blowout back, and then the Chargers came screaming back. Man, this was one of the. Go ahead, I'm listening.
I think the Chargers. That's his greatest thing is also kills him sometimes because he is so fast-paced offense. I don't think he really knows how to slow it down. It's okay to run Saquon 8-7 times in a drive to slow the game down for a second. Then you can speed it back up. But he can only move one speed. If he runs one or twice, he can't help it. He goes straight back to the pass. Now when he gets to the red zone, he'll run them. He'll make sure Saquon or Bryce get the ball. But as far as all the way up the field, he'll scream back sometimes. He'll scream. He'll put 50 points on you. But when you absolutely need to run and slow the game down, put a longer drive together, it's just one of the things it don't seem like he wants to do. I ain't saying
and that's what makes it hard for me because you don't trade for a superstar stud like Saquon Barkley not to be able to add that to your game.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like that's the moment. Yeah, that's the moment where when you need to play a slower game and still be explosive, Saquon is the guy to do it. You know what I'm saying? And like I think this is their first year with Saquon. I think we'll see a different approach next year. If you got to be a team that you have to be a coach in this league that don't make the same mistakes all the time. You can't make the same mistakes twice. So eventually, that'll click over. And honestly, let me ask you this: even though he did it his way, he brought the game back from getting aired to a 3-point game. So he kind of still did it his way, and in the process of doing it his way, as much as we're saying Saquon should have got the ball more, I'm just saying in the momentum swing, he should have got the momentum back by putting the drive together with Saquon being a part of that drive. But he came back and he played a crazy second half. And that second half, man, he showed his dominance, showed why his defense is as good as it is, and he also showed how high power his offense can be because he put up 28 points in the second half. That's usually that's a recipe for winning.
True.
Jermaine Pierre played well. 3 catches, 105, 35 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns. Waddle is still Waddle, man. 5 catches, 105, touchdown, 21 yards a catch. We saw Tylan Wallace catch the ball 6 times in this game. Bryce Moss 5, and this is the difference though. Bryce Moss stayed out of the end zone. He held him out of it. He held him from scoring. Their biggest scoring threat didn't score as a receiver. I don't even think he scored as a runner. If I can look at it and see, do we got a touchdown out of it? Nope, didn't score as a runner either.
That's huge. That means Dolphins had a game plan.
Sure, they kept their biggest weapon out of the end zone and said, we'll let you beat us with other guys, but we kept your biggest weapon out of the end zone. So, again, I thought this was one of the best games I watched. I didn't watch all the games, but this game I watched just happened to be I wasn't doing shit, and this game was started at the time where it was actually the last game we was waiting on. So I actually started watching this game. You had 9 tackles from Kenneth Murray Jr. When it comes down to the interceptions, both teams had big-time interceptions. Javon Howland had a pick. Darwin James had a pick. I think he took his to the crib. Braxton Hawkins, the rookie middle linebacker, had an INT in this game as well. Niles Kidd, the rookie corner, had a pick. And Corey Bernard, the first-year corner, had a pick for the Dolphins, and he broke that shit 70 yards to the crib. Both of them had pick sixes. Let's see how many happened in this game. Darwin James took 170, and Niles Kidd took 170. The other guy had a 70-yard run, but he like gave himself up at like the 15, 20-yard line or some shit.
Wow.
All right, so where do the Chargers go from here?
I think the Chargers, he doesn't have to do too much, man. Just add a little Saquon and just change your mindset in the playoffs. It just seems like in the playoffs, it's just like he's lost to who, the Patriots and the Dolphins. Last two seasons.
You see her comment?
What she say?
Look at it.
I ain't even see it.
She a fucking asshole.
Oh man,
Just
but she commented, so technically we get a gift.
Over there, here you go. Over there. She on this shit,
Technically, we get a
nah,
gift.
cause she in the house now. That don't matter. Nah, hell no. She's sitting right next to me. That shit don't matter.
Technically, she get a gift, dog. So you didn't say them rules. You didn't
Over
put
there,
them rules on it.
giving me the mean grill sitting in your drawers. You want to put some fuck with your She get on my nerves, bro. Oh my god. Nah, they don't get no gift, right?
Yes, they do.
You ain't comment while you was out.
You didn't say that.
I told them you was mad at me, and that you gonna show me. I will find out how much she really love me if she still comment on the show and if she's still watching the show while she's out and still mad at me. Was you watching it while you was out?
While she was out.
She ain't watching.
Why she mad?
I said why.
You said while she was out. You said why she was mad. Yeah,
right,
don't do that.
Do you think it's fair that I still give the upgrade or give niggas a gift, and she came walking right in this motherfucker, and she's sitting right next to me, and then finally make a comment?
Yeah, tell her
she didn't know. She didn't know about the gift though. She didn't know about that.
Yeah. So we deserve that.
Fuck them.
Oh my goodness! Don't take your frustrations on him.
Don't be placing bets.
Nah, but top tier, bro. I think your assessment of the Chargers is 100% right. You have to make that trade make sense, man. I think they have to see this. I think they have to be able to come out, even if it's the regular season. They got to see is the trade, the investment they made in Saquon Barkley. They got to get that in return. And what I feel as though they need to do is they need to show that they can win a game with just Saquon Barkley and not throwing the ball to him all crazy, but just show that he can go out there and have a one of those New York Giants games where the guy 200 something yards rushing, 3-4 touchdowns, and show that he can win through Saquon Barkley.
For real.
Because it'll change the way he play later.
Exactly. Because in the playoffs, it's a lot different to just do what you usually always do all season. People kind of play. They don't want to go home.
I don't want to go home at all.
They don't want to go home.
Oh yeah. So all right, I get it, man. So you come out of this game, man, and the problem is this. As much as I want to talk so great about the Dolphins, right? This team wasn't even supposed to be here. And then they come right in as a 7th seed and they move right on to the divisional round. And it's like, oh my God, that's the story. You're giving us a great storyline right now, but I think that story gets better if they beat the Ravens. Here's why. Because I don't think nobody really looked at this game and thought the Dolphins has no chance of winning this game. The 7th seed cannot beat the 2nd seed. So I don't think we looked at it. I think this was a game where it was either one of them could win the ball game. And you saw it. It was a fucking shootout, bro. Like, it was a tale of two halves, and it was a flat-out shootout, man. What I will say about the Dolphins is Dan Marino is super comfortable in their system. They don't go. Both these teams played within their system the entire game.
Yeah, definitely. That's. I mean, it's crazy, man. You can't lose that game, man.
So you gotta win that game. You got to.
You fought all year to be that seed. You know what I'm saying? You
gotta win that game. You gotta win that game.
And what that just shows is Madden had it right.
Corey, the 2nd seed, lost to the 7th seed.
Madden had it right, putting Dolphins to the 7th seed. Clearly.
It's always been that way.
Oh, Miss Giddy, the hell is about to what you say? Say it out loud. Don't mumble now, punk.
I said, top tier Craig better take a nap.
He's not getting a gift. What you say about the Chargers and Coach Corey?
I don't know nothing about Corey. I ain't saying nothing.
He should have lost his game. Do you think he should have won the game?
Yeah, he should have won.
Should have won. All right. let's keep her out of our conversation. She's an asshole tonight. So let's look at this Dolphins team again, right? We assess the Chargers. We don't think they in a situation where they got to do anything drastically during the offseason. We just think they need to show us why Saquon was the move you made in a regular season. Why did you trade for Saquon? Show us that. Now the Dolphins, they get to move on. They go into the second round. They get into the divisional round. They get to travel to Baltimore and play a familiar game. Man, these teams, when they do play it, I think I think the series might be tied up right now. But I will say this: the Dolphins have shown that they can go toe to toe and knock the Ravens out of the playoffs, knock them out of a Super Bowl, beat them in a regular season. I mean, they started off 3-0 against this team. And every game they play is a dogfight. So this is a team that, you know, they're familiar with this Ravens team. They're comfortable with this with this matchup, and they're going into a game where I don't feel as though, you know, they're going into the unknown. They're going into something where, you know, as a coaching staff, as players, you're comfortable. You know, you've been here, done that.
That's dangerous when you play somebody week 18 and then play them 2 weeks after that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a...
I mean, it's almost just as dangerous as playing the same team in your division 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that dangerous. You're 100% right.
It's right there, man. And I will say this: I don't feel like the Dolphins fear the Ravens, and that's what's going to make the game interesting.
Mm-hmm. 100%. 100%. All right, so, you know, you get back over here, let's look at the 3 versus 6 seeds right now, man. So the top tier and his Buccaneers took on the football team for the first time this year, and came out of that game victorious, 52 points. So, you know, looking at the first 2 games in the NFC, 50 burgers was put up right away. So now we got a 52-21 ball game here in Tampa Bay. All right, so your team comfortable as hell. They playing home. They're in their environment, right? They don't have to travel, all that. They playing in a game where it could possibly be a trap game to them, where, you know, you can overlook this watching the football team. You're not playing a highly successful playoff rated team. You're playing a team that snuck their way into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, go lay down. Man, my boy hit a work, man. He tried hard, man. He tried. All right, so 543 yards. Let's start there. Offensively, you have a very potent offense right now. And today it looked like that offense completely worked. I watched it week 18 against the Bears, and it looked like you came into the game on that same type of mission. Why have your team has made a switch from where guys say run in Bucks and Ronald Jones, and lately all we seeing is you throwing the ball for 300+ yards a game? What's going on with this? Let's start there.
It's just trying to spread the ball to all the weapons. I mean, we don't trade for Henry Ruggs for no reason. We don't waste a high draft pick on 99 reasons. We did this to build and make our team a complete team and not a Ronald Jones team. I didn't want him to carry the team, and once we got Jay Bradshaw there to spread it to everybody, now we have a complete team where Ronald Jones don't gotta put all the work in. You know what I'm saying? Now we got Ruggs running around, passing everybody up. We got 99 reasons doing what he wants. It just makes us a complete offense and a complete team that I feel like we could play against anybody.
I agree. Mrs. Goodell made a comment about this game, and she said, Hitter did what?
Turned the ball over too many times.
She said stat-wise, he actually didn't have a bad game. He just turned the ball over 7 times in a game where you're going to play a team that's not really going to turn the ball over at all. And she's making a whole. I mean, that's pretty much it right there.
And no disrespect, most of his points came in the last quarter of the game.
Right. So
you know
so flat out disrespect. Clean up game already over with. Backups probably on the field now. 14 points gave up in the fourth. So what he really saying is, I kind of aired this nigga completely. We gave up 14 points when it didn't matter. But if you look at this, let's look at the box score and stats for stats.
Hey, look, I'm about to leave out, bro, because I gotta go to dinner. But what I will say before I leave out is that motherfucking nigga D-line, his front 7 and his D-line,
off the hook,
fucking ridiculous, bro. One play in fucking Chase Young sacked Bradshaw, took the ball out of his hand in the sack, and he got the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that front
Dirty.
fucking seven is
Dirty.
is
But I'm
really really
gonna leave
good.
that. I'm gonna leave out for y'all though. But go ahead and handle it, bro.
All right, so I appreciate your top tier, man. Good luck
You
going
already
when you
know.
come back in your game tonight. All right, so
Appreciate it.
122 rushing yards for the football team, 172 for the Buccaneers, 250 in the passing game, 371. You saw 14 first down to 18, and again the turnovers was the game, 7-2. Anytime you turn the ball over 7 times, you're not winning, especially in the playoffs. Now let's look at Bradshaw had 125.8 QB rating, 409 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Doolittle threw 7. Simple as that. 78.4, 295, 3 touchdowns, but he threw 7, and that's the ball game right there. Now when you come down to the run game, I like the fact that Doolittle was the leading rusher here, because I thought that was something that he would better do well in this game. When you playing the Bucks, I think that's something that they struggle with in that Bears game. So that tells me they did their homework. Fields was able to take off and make plays on the ground and keep the chains moving at times, big third downs and things like that. I thought Doolittle was on his way to that, and honestly, he probably should have had another 7 carries in this game. Bradshaw also had 41 yards, 13.7 yards a carry. Ronald Jones seen the end zone twice from the running back position. McLaurin had 4 catches, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ruggs stepped up, 3 catches, 111, 37 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns. Darden had a touchdown, 6 on 92, and then 99 Reasons had 81 yards, no touchdowns, but he still was effective enough to make things happen. Big Brahim Cannon had 3 catches for 67 yards as well. Small scored, and Ronald Jones scored as a receiver. Now defensively, let's just go straight to the sacks and then the turnovers. Sweat had 3. Hassan Reddick. These are guys that always have double-digit sacks. They did their job. Vita Vey played, and Chase Young came in and made a big play too. And QB Killen got to the quarterback instead. You usually don't get to the Buccaneers quarterback at all. The way they play, it's hard to get sacks and turnovers on these guys. Diablo had 2 from the linebacker. Bunton at corner, underrated, probably one of the better corners in the league, but we don't talk about him as the best corner in the league. He had 2 picks in this game too. Jalen Johnson stepped up with a pick. Amari Braxton had a pick from the linebacker level. Craig Williams, the safety, had a pick. Dakota Warner had a pick from the safety position as well, and then young Zach Holiday had a pick in this game as well. Now going forward, I think the Washington football team, I do think they do need to play in the draft and continue to, build, because they build pretty good off their draft picks. I think they got the right team in play right now. And this team should have the green arrows pointing up. They should go up. They should be better next year. They should continue to grow and get better. They need to add some pieces. They got some older receivers that's on their way out of the door, out of the building. And so I think they do need to address that, whether it's through trade, free agency, or the draft. But they can continue to get better. They also need to get a little deeper at the pass rushers for the pass rushing position for them. Other than that, I think this team is right where they need to be at. Can they continue to grow and play well down the stretch? And then when you look at the Buccaneers, they're ready to go play the Giants. They're on their way to New York to play in a back-to-back blizzard game for New York. They've been snowing in New York for 2 weeks straight, so they got to go in there and play in the element. Their system, their offense is built to be able to play in that type of element. So it comes down to what team with a bunch of playmakers everywhere is going to make the plays when it comes down to this team. Alright, so let's slide over here to the AFC and the 3 versus 6. And the Buffalo Bills went into Jacksonville and won the game 48-10. So let's go see what happened in this game. If you look at the box score, and we're looking at by quarters, 14 was scored in the first quarter. So they jumped off to a big start. The Buffalo Bills had a great first quarter. They scored 14 points in that first quarter, and then they scored 10 in the second, which gave them a 24-10 lead. And they continued to do the same thing in the third and fourth quarter. 14 points in the third, 4 points in the 10 points in the fourth, and the Jacksonville Jaguars had a 10-point quarter in the second quarter, and she got shut out all 3 other quarters. And that's what the game is. The other team scored when they had to, and it looked like the Jacksonville Jaguars kind of struggled in that game. 46.0 rating for Trevor Lawrence, 181 yards and 5 interceptions. And again, turnovers are the key to those that are losing in the playoffs. 5-2 here. Let's go look at and see what happened. Kentrell Golden had 20 carries, 79 yards. The big back was able to get 4 yards of carry and a touchdown. ETN 13 for 72. He was held way under his average. And this is why the Buffalo Bills won the ball game. They was able to stop the biggest playmaker, one of the biggest playmakers in our league, and hold him under his average and keep him to only 1 touchdown scored there. When you look at the diaper dandy, did he show up in this game? 7 catches for 44 yards. But the guy for them was Anton Carter, 3 catches, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns. The running back also had 5 catches out the backfield, 135 yards. I don't start this shit. I've been going through shit. And here they go kicking us out with this disconnection shit. Knock it off, Madden. So again, now when you look at the Buffalo Bills, they traveling to the divisional round, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are going home. But let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars for a second. I don't think this team has a problem with pretty much anything. I think they just need to continue to develop their passing game. They don't have to have the best passing game in the world. They just have to have a passing game that can work for them when they need it. They have the weapons. I need a lighter. They have the weapons on the edge. They have the receiving core to be able to be elite in this league. They got a really good three deep wide receiver group. Trevor Lawrence just has to get more comfortable and play calling. I think this team needs to go with a different offensive coordinator, or bring in a guy, a passing coordinator, like bring in a guy to help out with the passing game. Simple as that. I think that's where they take the next stride. This team can be really dangerous as an offense if we can get this team being able to throw. They don't have to throw 300, 400 yards a game. They need to be somewhere between, I would say, a strong 250 yards a game, somewhere around there, 250 to 300. If they can get 300, will be great. But I just think they need to be, a little bit more efficient. Completion percentage, QBRs. I think they need to be able to, show that Trevor Lawrence can win ball games for them. Their recipe is the run game. Is Travis Etienne. Maybe this team gets another running back in the draft, where they can have a two-headed monster situation going on to help out with that run game. But I just think everything starts with how fast they can get that passing game going. They got Rashad Bateman over there. They got speed over there. They got De'Ami Brown over there. They got 3 really good receivers. They got a really good 2 tight end system over there. I just think they need to be able to, because they show spurts of it. They show spurts of it where they can win games, and where you see, they threw for 200, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and Trevor Lawrence is not a turnover machine. I don't think they have to have the greatest yards per game passing the ball. They just have to be efficient. More big time plays, more completions, more touchdowns than interceptions. They need to do that, because if you look at Trevor Lawrence's career, he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns damn near every season he's had. And I think that's where they need to change, because at this point this team is super built. They're one of the better built teams in the league, offensively and defensively. At the quarterback position, they have one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but he hasn't played like one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And I think that's where they need to really check themselves at. They're in a situation where they're too good as a team to really be trying to start over with a new quarterback. So Trevor Lawrence has to get it done. And when we look at Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback in this league, this is what he has to change. And it comes down to me personally. I just think they need to go ahead and get a new offensive coordinator, and they need to be able to somebody to come in to help Trevor Lawrence turn it around, where he's not turning the ball over more than he's scoring touchdowns. And when you take a look at him through his since 2021, I don't think he's had one season where he's thrown. He had one season, 2023, where he's thrown 32 touchdowns, 21 picks. But every season before that or after that, he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. And I think that's where you need to fix Trevor Lawrence at, where you need him to be able to make plays. Your run game is too strong for him to really be throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. So play calling wise, maybe we get a little better there. As far as in the passing game, get a little better there, more efficient, more comfortable passing plays where you understand the type of receivers you got and you put them in situations where they can win at. And I think that's it with the Jaguars. The Bills came in this game and stole it. So to me, the Bills are playing a little bit higher than what they should be at this point, having a new coach over there. But they came in and they stole the game. All they got to do is just keep building off of what they're doing and keep adding the pieces that fit the coaching over there. And when they completely do that, you're gonna have a really dangerous team over there. And the better the Bills get, the harder it gets for some of these teams in the AFC. Period. So again, the Bills come out of that game with a 48-10 victory, keeping the Jaguars out of the end zone for 3 quarters. And that's usually and with turnovers, losing the turnover battle too. That's a recipe for a loss right now. Another thing I think the Jacksonville Jaguars need to concentrate on is I think they need to look at outside of their division. Really, it comes down to outside of your division how well you could play against the top playoff seeded teams in the league. Asking yourself, do we match up with the top dogs? And the answer is really yes, because they have beaten big time players in this league. But what's the next step? The next step is, can we beat those same guys in the playoffs? It's just that simple. So and to make that next step, you need Trevor Lawrence to be that guy. Period. And if Trevor Lawrence is not able to be able to, not just win a ball game for you, but at least game manage a game for you without being a problem, then I think this Jacksonville Jaguar team will take that next step. All right, fellas, that's the 3 versus 6 seed. Now let's go down here and take a look at the NFC East side again and look at the 4 and the 5 seeds that played. All right, so we had the rematch game. The Dallas Cowboys traveled to Soldier Field again 2 years in a row in the playoffs to play the Chicago Bears and D West as a coach right now. So when you look at it, we're going to look into this game and dig into it and see what happened in this game. Alright, so box score 300 yards for the Cowboys, 463 for the Bears, 94 rushing yards. I mean, right there tells me why the Cowboys lost right now. The Cowboys' strength is Joey Cummings in that run game. And for him to, lose the running, the yards battle in this game, the Bears rushed for 113 yards, and they only rushed for 94. They did throw for 206 yards in this game, but the Bears threw for 350, 18 first downs to 11. And when you get down to it, now, the Cowboys came in and did what they were supposed to do as far as turnovers. They held on to the ball. They did not turn the ball over, and the Bears turned it over once. But when you don't win the one thing that you've been winning all year, which is the run game battle, it's a little situation. And when your quarterback is, asked to pretty much win a ball game for you, he hasn't really shown that he can do that right now. So you look at it, 139.3 fields was 361, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Beeman had 120.6, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, and for the Cowboys, if that followed with 160 to 200 yard rushing game for Joey Cummings, that could have been a recipe for a victory in this game. But we didn't see that. We saw, the run game kind of didn't really get going. 15 carries, 92 yards, 6.1. Fields went off in this game. He had 57 yards. Peyton had 49 yards and a touchdown, and Warren also scored. So you got 2 touchdowns from the running back position for the Bears, and where the Cowboys, run and score through the run game, they didn't produce no touchdowns there. The tight end got busy, 5 for 97, 1 touchdown. Harvin got busy, 4 for 86 and a touchdown. McCole Hardman showed up, 3 for 75 and a touchdown. Mooney had 2. He's been killing it all year long. Cummins out the backfield, 6 catches, 62 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, really wasn't, again, it wasn't a lot of turnovers here, so let's just see who made plays as far as tackle for losses. Carroll had 2. Let's look at the sacks. Really wasn't that many there. Both of them had 1. Cowboys had the only sacks in this game. And then the INT, Russ McClendon had a pick. I don't know how the Cowboys lost this game. I mean, there's nothing stat-wise that shows me the Cowboys should have lost this game. So you can't look at the stats and really see why they lost. You really got to go right back to the box score of it and just look at the quarters. All right, and here's the reason why they lost the game. The Cowboys were shut out in the first half. They lost this game 21-6 after the third quarter, and then Chicago scored 21. And a lot of that was cleanup duty. The game was over. The Cowboys had to try to strike, and they couldn't. and those turnovers turned into late touchdowns. So that 21 fourth quarter point was just the Cowboys trying any and everything to hold on to this game to try to bring the beat back or win it. So they lose it, but they did score 15 points in the fourth quarter. They just gave up 21. And that's the reason why the Cowboys are home right now. And as far as the Cowboys, to me, they just got to develop their passing game a little bit better. They are one of the stronger running teams in the league, but no one really cares or fear their passing game. Their quarterback missed a lot of big third downs in this game, overthrowing, missing targets, things like that. So they just need to get a little bit more comfortable at, same thing, throwing the football in situations where, if guys are cheating your run, you got to be able to make them pay with the pass, and the more they get steam and beaming in those situations, the better this team becomes. All right, we slide out of here, and we go over here to the fifth seed, which was a special game because the fourth seed was our Super Bowl defending champions. The Broncos went into New England and won this game 33-27. They won it by a score. Let's talk about it. You're looking at the box score. Here we go. So quarter-wise, 7-3 first quarter. Neither one of them scored in the second. Both of them scored 7 in the third. And then the Broncos had a 17-13 fourth quarter, and this team went into overtime. I don't know if the Patriots got the ball in overtime at all, but we do know they didn't. Here's how you know. Because 6 points were scored in the overtime game. So that means the Broncos got the ball got the ball first, maybe got the ball first, but they scored the only touchdown in there. Once you score, you don't need an extra point. So to me, that means they scored first, right? Guns, they scored first, right? Because if they didn't, if they scored first, the game's over, right? You score a touchdown, the game over in overtime, right? First team to score touchdown wins. But if they had to kick the field goal, then the New England Patriots had an opportunity, right? So, all right. So, yep, they went down to score. 436 offensive yards gained, 324. The run game. The Patriots rushed for 200 yards. The Broncos rushed for 137. The Broncos threw for 299 to 134 passing yards for the Patriots. And, we've been singing the same song when it comes down to the Patriots. They have to be able to find a passing game. 134 yards passing ain't gonna cut it, especially in a game where you did win the rushing battle right here, but they also had another team that you played also had 100+ yards rushing as well and 22 first downs. So you gotta better throw the ball a little bit better. You look at the turnovers, nobody turned the ball over in this game. I think what happened in this game, the Broncos played the game not change the way he played, but played mistake-free, safe game where they marched up and down the field and they did it with chunk plays, because that's how you got to play New England.
Yeah, I wish I would have been able to see this game, but I actually did not get to watch it.
So 312 yards passing for Kellen Mond. He threw a touchdown, right? And here, watch when we get to the receiver stats. I never seen this game. I didn't watch none of it. I don't know the stats. This is my first time clicking onto it. But to be able to beat the Patriots the way you beat the Patriots in overtime, like the way you did, and you had 312 yards passing, it had to be on this strength. So Dobbins had almost 30 carries. He went off 166. He did his job that day. Williams 17 carries. Montgomery had 6. Both of these guys scored touchdowns. They got 3 touchdowns from 2 running backs. 21 points right there from the backfield of the Broncos, and they outscored the Patriots. And I still don't understand why Ezekiel Stokes hasn't been involved in games. Like, I don't get it. He's a first-round pick. He only had 1 carry. They relied strictly on J.K. Dobbins, and I think, meanwhile, the Broncos used the 2 running back system, and it worked for them. They got the same production out of 2 backs and 1 more touchdown, so it worked for them. Now, he goes to the passing game. All right, Javonte out the backfield had 8 catches, 94 yards. 1 touchdown. For a running back to have 8 catches in this game is exactly what I said. They dink and dunked them up and down the field, and New England did nothing to fix it. They did nothing to adjust to it, because if they did, he wouldn't have 8 catches for 94 yards. Simple as that. DJ Thomas had 6 for 92 yards. There was no touchdowns anywhere else at the receivers, but you saw a whole bunch of different Denver Broncos catching the football, and chunk plays, 14.5 yards here from another running back. So that's 10 passes to running backs. That's 10 check downs in a ball game. After the third or fourth one, you should have been able to, try to find a way to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Like New England has to be able to answer that. All right, your game today is check down Charlie. So if you're going to check down Charlie, we're going to hard flat you or something. Or we're going to do something a little different to stop that from happening and make you have to read the field a little bit more instead of just, dropping back, letting your receivers get downfield a little bit and then dumping it off to a running back and he getting motherfucking 11.8 yards a play. Because this is catching the ball at like 4 or 5 yards and running after after that. 36 running yards after the catch right here, 4.5 yards after the catch right there. That's, that's a lot. That's a lot of after the catch yards right there from running backs. You come down here, Montgomery averaged 6 yards after the catch. So run after the catch killed them. So they catching dump offs and dink and dunk plays and getting 4 or 5 yards a pop after they catch the ball. So they can catch it somewhere between 5 to 10 yards, and they still get another 5 to 6 yards after that. And this is how they got up and down the field, man. If you look at the game, that's what it went down to. Defensively, Baron Browning stepped up with 9 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. I don't think we saw a lot of sacks. Both teams had a sack. INT-wise, there wasn't no turnovers in this ball game. So it came down to, bend but don't break defense and, being able to put drives together. And the Broncos showed they could do exactly that. That's why they came out of this game with the dub. They put drives together. And New England gave them hell, but lost the last possession. Simple as that. So the Broncos move on. They have to play the Buffalo Bills, which already was played. I'm not going to talk about those games, even though we're seeing the score right now, 48-16. But the 5th seed, becomes a home team, and they get to host the 6th seed. And then the 7th seed is playing the Baltimore Ravens. That game will be played tonight. On the other side of things, you got the number 2 seed versus the number 3 seed and a rematch this year where the Giants came back and won that game down 21 and won that ball game. So this is a rematch game, big time game. These both are familiar with each other and they're something like a rival at the same time. And then D West traveled to Arizona to play the number 1 seed, and Arizona was looking like the Arizona that we see offensively, and they went crazy 63-17. We will talk about that on the next show. Other than that, that's our playoff situation right now. A lot of guys that's not in the Alls right now should be getting their gymming on right now. Get ready, baby, because that shit right around the corner. Get yourself ready to do some things. And if you're not a team that can build, get rid of them damn picks. Other than that, AntHits the franchise guru. What I missed?
I want to give one shout out because I still got this lingering call from when I had COVID. I did want to shout out, Coach Hoodie and kind of give a perspective of our game. Mm-hmm. And I was going to say, some of the turnovers, it was when you get behind, you're going to turn the ball over. For the most part, if you look at the time of possession, he really, it was like 20-11. He really put together drives and put us in a situation where we didn't have a lot of time left. So it actually forced our offense to kind of force some things. So I wanted to shout him out for that because normally, we're the team that controls the clock.
Right.
That puts long drives together. But he actually made sure that he did that. I don't know if it was just because the main weapons on his team, we were able to shadow them. So I don't know if he put those drives together on purpose.
He came in to play playoff football. He know what type of team he's playing. He know he's playing a team that's a predominantly run team, which always leads into controlling the clock to play time of possession. And he came in. I mean, he showed it when he played the Carolina Panthers. I mean,
I just want to make sure that I got a chance to, to shout him out.
His running back had 20 carries. You haven't seen that happen all year, except for the I think maybe the Carolina game, where you're getting 20 carries out of running back. He came in to play playoff football, bro. Like that's it. He came in to play playoff football. It's great. It's smart. It's the way you play. And he understood who he was playing, and it was a respect thing. I'm not gonna come out here and try to bomb the shit out of this guy and score fast all over, with big splash plays all game long. Hence Chris Poole. running behind everybody and all that. I'm not going to do that today. Today I'm going to play football, and the game, the thing for the day is to pit drives together.
Oh yeah, he definitely took his shots, but but I think that he saw that he didn't have to do that because he took his shots, and Sean Wade had 2 picks, so I think he saw he didn't have to do that. So he really got into playing playoff football. It was a great plan put together. It put us behind the 8 ball and had us doing something we didn't really want to do, and that's try to score quickly.
Yeah,
so
because I
shout him
mean,
out before we close out.
I mean, at the end of the day, bro. At the end of the day, you look at the Russian stats. You look at the running back had the most catches out in his game. You know what I mean? Like flat out playoff football, right? And then the other thing is, again, like you said, when you're playing behind the 8 ball like that, you go back to the box score. He jumped out with a 24-10. You know what I mean? You're playing from behind now, so you don't have the comfort zone of being able to play a slow paced game and do what you do best, because now you got to strike back. You down 24-10, so you got to strike back. Down 14. You don't got time to fuck around and put 12 plays together and things like that. So you had to play the way you had to play, and he was able to capitalize off it, because now the Jaguars aren't playing Jaguar football, they're playing catch up football. Hence, the shutouts in the 3 quarters, because you're not playing the football you want to play, and that's what a good team is supposed to do. That better come in here and change the way a team likes to play, take them out of their comfort zone, and make them play different. And Falky says this all the time, man. When you playing those type of teams, you want to jump on, you want to get the ball first, and you want to go up fast. And you go up fast, you make them play different football. They can't play their comfort zone football. They got to play outside of what they like to do to better keep up in the game or catch up to the game. And once that happens, things change right there. And that's exactly what we saw in this game. So yeah, you're right. Shout out to Hoodie on how you play right now. Can I join this franchise? Is this league open? Here's how you get an opportunity to even come over here in my leagues. You're gonna have to message me on Instagram at Madden Franchise Junkies on Instagram. Madden Franchise Junkies. Send me a message. I'll respond to it, and we can go from there. I'll put in the comment section where I'll put it in the comment section for you. Give me a second. Let's come out of there. Let's go here. Videos. Alright, so Instagram at Madden Franchise Junkies. Oh, you already put it in there. Alright. Yeah, so just message me on that. Keith and Clueless, message me on that, and we can make it happen. Other than that, man, here's the Franchise Guru for real talk. You already know how we doing it, man. We'll be back to update y'all on the divisional round at some point. So other than that, holla at us, you heard?
Peace.